Well, hello everybody, so welcome to another level up. Today we're talking about how to improve your two-player experiences. Now, I'm making this video because it seems that there is some adversity to playing with two players. People do see it as a limitation sometimes, and I disagree because it is my favorite way of playing. I feel that for several reasons. One, it literally doesn't have that effect where someone can lose a game and then blame someone else like, oh, you king made that person. You know, with two players, even if it's a totally luck-based game, the odds are completely the same for you and me. It's how you and I basically play the odds and all. So with a two-player game, there's no one to blame but yourself. That's why I love two-player games. In fact, I love two-player games so much. I started a little league called the Beat Bin League. If you don't know, I shortened my Chinese name to just so most people just call me Bin. So Beat Bin League, the BBL, by which it just encourages people to play two-player with me because, you know, if the person at the end of the year has the most wins against me, alright, then that person gets a free painted miniature from me. You know, and I'll put a link below to this year's winner and the miniature that I painted. It will take a while, so it might not be up when this video is up. So the first process is to find the second players. Now, I would not suggest just jumping into and, you know, starting a whole league and then playing with everybody that comes along the way, because, you know, just like with any other kind of game or situation, there are people who are just not made to play two players for the criteria I'm going to give below. You know, just for example, for a normal situation, some people are Euro gamers, some people are war gamers, and you put the two together, they might not work out because they're looking for different things. Now, the most important thing I feel you should look for in a two-player game is basically, one, do you like similar games? And two, do you have something else to talk about other than board games? And this is for a simple reason. Because most of the time I'm taking into aspect all situations. I play at mostly people's homes. So when it's two-player, usually you and him are the only person alone in the home. And in between turns or even in between choosing your games, you get sometimes silence. And unless you're really comfortable with a person, it can get really awkward and can affect the gameplay. Because imagine every time you're taking, let's say you play Twilight Struggle, if you're taking your turn, you're thinking, is he bored or whatever, it's going to affect your gameplay. Or his gameplay even. So you've got to have something else to talk about, especially also in between the changing of games, because, you know, trust me, if you only have one topic to talk about with board games, that's going to finish real fast, it's going to get real boring, and its worst thing is going to get awkward, and that will affect the gameplay. And after you're comfortable with the person, and you get to know the person, and you have something else to talk about, you know, and things get flowing basically, the next thing you gotta set up is basically just be honest with each other, seriously. I mean, one example is this. I play with someone quite often, two-player games, and, you know, one of the things that I established with my two-player game situations is just be honest. Do you want to play a game? You know, like, if you really are not interested in war games, then we'll play something else. Like, when I meet you for two players, if you're not interested in war games, we will play two-player Euro games. It's up to the person. Alright, and if you're honest with each other, you can set up a compromise. Maybe if, let's say like for me, I like war games. If someone likes Euro games, maybe you can set up one week this game, next week the other. And another more important point is actually setting this. Actually, once you get comfortable, can help you set up more topics to talk about to make yourself more comfortable with the person. I'll give you an example. I play with someone, and then after we got more comfortable with each other and all, I asked him truthfully, because personally I like to talk about moral philosophy and politics and all that. And I asked him that does he feel comfortable talking about these things, and he said like not really. So therefore, as you can see, it made it so much easier that next time I want to talk a topic about him, I don't toss out these topics that make him uncomfortable. Alright, and at the same time he tells me that, hey, I don't want to talk about these things, and that's fine, you know. I mean, that's the thing. In fact, I appreciate the honesty so much more than if someone was lying and trying to pretend just to, you know, not offend me. In fact, that's the way that you offend me properly. And also, it helps you set up a lot of parameters about what each of you might not like in gaming. Like for me, you know, I don't like mulligans. I don't like people taking back their turns, alright? And in two-player games, I must admit, it's harder to tell a person not to take back their turn. But like I said, if you got rapport, at least then you can set up like a situation where, well, you know, I'm not taking my turn yet, so you can take back that thing, or you can take back a turn once per game or something. Again, whatever you want to do, but with honesty, it makes both people so much more comfortable. And it then, trust me, once you get that flow going, that honesty going, it makes things all the more better. You even can choose games weeks before. Like for me, usually I think I have games planned at least 1 or 2 weeks before, and then we know the rules and everything, and we turn up, boom, we have a great time. And the third thing you're looking for, probably, and this depends on the person. For me, it's not really an issue. As literally the guy who won in 2014 this year, he beat me 24 games to 1, and I'm at 1 game victory. No, granted, most of those games were with his magic card decks, but still, he's a way better gamer than me. It's the same level of skill. Alright? And that's because for some people, they want a challenge. And, for example, if that person was picking me and he wanted the same level of challenge, he's not going to get it. Again, it's one of those things where what you're looking for. So that's why I say, for my last tip, don't commit. Alright? Don't commit to like telling a person every week or something. But try it out first. You know, if it works, then move it a step further. Don't, you know, I think the biggest problem is that simple line: if you don't plan, you plan to fail. Just work with the plan. You know, see, do you get along with the person? Can the person be honest and all that? And then you go down that checklist. And in the end, if you're lucky, and like feel I'm lucky, then you have many 2-player games, and maybe you two might have a league and beat 24 games to 1. Thank you very much. Till next word.